Hello.
Welcome.
Here to talk about Alien.
This was the best horror movie that ever came out of the 70s. And only because it was like at the end of the 70s.
Right.
So
And you know what? For being 1979, it's very 80s. You know what I
it's
mean?
dude, this thing set the pace, bro.
For the 80s, yeah, right.
This thing set the pace for visual effects in the 80s. This thing set the pace for everything horror related in the 80s. Like this movie is still one of the best looking horror movies of all
Oh
time.
yeah, dude. And like right off the bat in the opening of the movie, I don't like how slow the opening is, but it's
Dude,
whatever. It's setting
you
up the
mean you mean like the 30-minute wake up period?
yeah.
uh,
It's like, oh god. But
are we sure this isn't Night of the Living Dead in
dude, right off the
space?
bat in this movie, they let you know that that these people are working for a super seriously evil corporation, like just
Right?
evil ass vibes. Like, no, that's against company policy, so you lose all your pay,
Yeah. If you complain, you will not get paid.
right? And the guy that played Bilbo, what's
Yeah.
his name? I got the cast list right here. Hold on.
Bilbo, Android Bilbo. Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Holm, the guy that played
In home.
Ash.
Yeah.
Dude, right off the bat, he's a really weird character, and
Dude,
you
he
find
is.
out really quick that he's just shady as fuck.
Dude, I remember the first time watching this movie when we were kids that I did not actually see the android thing coming. Like I didn't
Right? Yeah.
I was all like, "What?"
Well, there's that one scene towards the middle of the movie where he's like, he's beating up Sigourney Weaver or whatever,
Yeah.
and he starts sweating that white like
Mm-hmm.
android juice or
He
whatever. And I
starts
was
milking himself.
yeah, and I was sitting there wondering like, did they use actual milk for that? Because that's what it looks like.
I don't know. I bet you could Google that. Let's check that out.
Because yeah, dude, because like it was all
Yeah.
running down his forehead. I'm like, dude, did they use actual milk for that? Could you imagine?
I could. I
Dude,
could absolutely imagine if it was actual milk, but I'm
oh, I'll just
guessing.
say, could you imagine being the guy that Yaphet Kotto that plays Parker? Imagine being that guy and just
Everything
getting
covered in it.
covered in all of this.
Yeah.
Like they're just like we're gonna splash you with a shitload of milk.
Dude. Well, yeah, that goes back to the old movies where like they get covered in the old stage blood where it's like corn syrup or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't even look
Like,
real at all.
well, not just that. Do you know how terrible it's got to feel to be covered in corn syrup? I know a hot
Sticky as
shower will take
hell,
right away, but I mean, like, you got to stay like that for like the duration of filming. You're like,
right? For that entire scene, no matter how many takes it is,
I'm
like
sticky in places that it wasn't supposed to go.
right. My nethers are sticky, not in a good way.
Pieces of shit.
Yeah, dude, but I didn't realize until I rewatched it this time. But that Yaphet Kotto, the guy that plays Parker,
Yeah,
he was the bad guy in Live and Let Die,
that's
which I thought was
awesome.
cool. I was like, wow, it's amazing that you see other actors and stuff. Like, oh, I know that guy. It's for like one of my favorite movies. You looking at the milk thing right now?
Yeah. It's really, I don't know where to look for backstage stuff. Like, it's all like, oh, okay, this is helpful. It's the lubricant that helps the android. I'm looking for actual material.
Not lore.
Yeah, like, I know what it's supposed to be,
We
but
don't
you
need the
know,
lore.
screw it. I give up.
Right.
I am defeated.
Dude,
That's how
and
easily I'm defeated.
like I think it was kind of hilarious how quickly like so it goes from like, we need to follow protocol, until Brett or whatever, that guy that gets the face hugger on him.
Mm-hmm.
That dude gets a face hugger to the face.
And
And
then
then
it's
and then
balls to protocol.
yeah, it's like whatever on protocol. And Sigourney Weaver's like, no, we need to follow protocol.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like the only smart person on there. You got the two guys that are just like, yo, I need to get paid more money.
Right.
Like shit's going down and they're like, can we talk about my money situation? It's like that guy just had his freaking like whole chest explode and you want to talk money?
Well, dude, the effects when they like cut open the space helmet and pop it open and see the face hugger for the first time, like how the face hugger like tightens around his neck and stuff. That is so well done
Yeah, dude.
for the time
Like
frame. Like
the
it was
crew, the
crazy.
crew that worked on that knew what they were doing. I mean, I wish people knew what they were doing that well these days. Because I mean, that level of dedication to detail even is something that is greatly overlooked in modern entertainment, even in
Oh
some of
yeah.
the newer Alien movies.
Well, and a lot of it comes down to practical effects. Well, I mean, you could
Yes.
chalk that last part up to, I mean, literally, how many writers and directors and creators have we seen go back to their old works and just completely destroy them?
A lot.
Yeah,
A lot, but luckily, on the bright side of things, a lot of creators and stuff like that are coming out in protection of their materials, their independent and intellectual properties.
right.
Like a lot of the people who made the old movies and stuff are coming out and saying, no, you will not ever remake this movie. You know, the people who actually own the rights are being like, no, you're not doing it. Like, it's great that you want to, but I don't like money enough for you to do that. You know, like these people are sitting pretty.
Right.
Like, could you imagine how much money the rights holder for the Alien franchise would have if he was sole owner of the rights for all of it?
Oh, dude, that'd be
Like,
like
Bezos,
was it?
who?
Who was it that did that? That went away with all the rights to their stuff.
A lot of people. There was a
Well,
rapper
George
back in the
Lucas
day
for
that did
one.
that.
I know
Well,
that.
yeah,
Because
dude.
Fox didn't want the rights for it.
Yeah,
And he
they're
was
like,
like,
this
all right,
isn't going to
cool.
go anywhere. 60 years later.
Right. It hasn't been
Yeah, they'll
60
never live
years.
that down. Yeah, almost. When did the first Star Wars come out?
Oh,
It was
shit.
60,
70s, dude. 1974.
74. My bad. Yo, dude, I'm not good with all that old stuff.
No, you're good. I'm like, dude, it's not 60 years old, man. We're not talking about
Oh, my
James
bad.
Bond
It's
here.
only 50 years old. My bad. It's not yet qualified for AARP. My
Technically, be
bad.
well, because I'm only 36, so technically, you'd only be like 47 years old.
Close enough.
46. But yeah, dude. Oh, and then the brutality of that one scene with Brett and it coming out of his chest. You mentioned that, like, dude, like they got all the bone cracks and like the
Yeah.
the one chick just gets splattered in the face.
Yeah. Dude, it was, I will say, it was almost predictable on who was going to die in what order and stuff.
Oh, right.
Like, as soon as you saw how they were behaving in the movie, you're like, okay, she's dead. He's definitely going to die. That guy, well, he's black. This is a 70s movie, so he's dead.
Well,
And
the,
they killed the black guy all the time back in the 70s and the 80s. Right off
yeah,
the
they
bat.
did
They're
too,
like,
all
done.
the time. Dude, one part that really bothered me was the part where the Parker and Lambert, the blonde chick and the black dude, he where it, like she's the alien standing right in front of her and she's just standing there screaming and
Yeah.
he's yelling at her to get the hell out of the way so he can blast it with the flamethrower. If she would have just dodged to the side, the movie would have ended right there.
Or, and now this is just a thought, he could have just opened that bitch up.
Right.
I'm
Just
sorry, but if there's
do
a
it,
woman,
man.
if there's a woman in between me and this killer monster thing that's going to murder everybody on the ship, I'm sacrificing her to the flamethrower. You're like,
Right?
okay.
Dude, I felt the same way about the cat.
The cat,
Jonesy
dude.
or whatever.
Everybody knows the cat never dies.
Dude, no, I'm talking about the fact that she like would stop the detonation and all this shit, like try to stop everything to save her cat. Like, nah. Like, hell
Right.
no, dude. That cat's getting blown up with the damn ship.
You're not wrong. Dude, so these things are one of the creepiest fucking delivery methods I've ever seen for an alien to come out of. Like these alien eggs right here are,
oh yeah, dude.
Like when they first start, like bleh, you're like,
the
oh, that's
practical effects
nasty.
on that were so good, dude. Like,
yeah,
you
it grossed you
in
out.
the egg and stuff. Like,
yeah,
oh.
See, it set you up on edge by grossing you out with the mucus and all that weirdness that's going on with it, and then you're all like, ew. that's not gonna be a baby chicken. And
Yeah,
then it's all like, "Ugh, eat your
it's definitely
face."
not a baby chicken.
Like, this, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when you let an extraterrestrial shove its reproductive organs down your throat.
Dude, and then
Don't
like
do it.
I noticed, and then like so after they get the helmet pulled off of him, and they
Mhm.
got like the forceps trying to pull it. Like
Yeah,
to me, it
the
didn't even look.
introduction to the acid blood.
Yeah, but to me, it looked like the android didn't even like Ash. He didn't even try to pull it off. He just like touched it and
Yeah, he was
squished
like,
it, and
he's
then it
like, "Coo,
tightened it
coo,
around. And he was just
coo,
like, yeah,
coo,
no,
coo." He's like, "Yeah, sorry guys."
it's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's like, what? And then they go to make the little incision, and it bleeds through like 5 decks of the ship, and you're like, damn.
Well, and then like that layer of fog, like in any of the other Alien movies, you know how it had like that blue light above the fog,
Yeah,
like, and that was like, it almost looked like a sensor beam.
right. Okay.
Do you remember that being in any other Alien movie? Because I don't.
Like
It's
the
just like as
laser
soon as you
mist
enter,
grid that they break, and he's all like,
yeah.
"There's some tension when you break it." Yeah. No, I don't remember that being in anything else. But I mean,
Well,
let's
and I
be
noticed
real. They
something.
made creative changes as they went. That
So that dude, that Brett was his name in the movie, yeah, the character's name,
Mhm.
played by Harry Dean Stanton. That guy, he fixed all of the things in the ship, and then he got infected with the alien. And then after the alien got bigger, everything that dude fixed was busted again.
Hmm.
Which tells me the alien absorbed the knowledge that the dude had from the ship.
Well, I mean, if it stands within reason to have a genetic memory, then it would make sense. Because if it's taking genetic information from the host, I mean,
Well, I mean,
they
if you
could
think
just
about
be
the different
playing on,
kinds of
yeah.
aliens there are in the universe.
Dude, the xenomorph is the greatest alien concept that's ever existed because it can change based on whatever the hell it face hugs. I mean,
right? Whatever it infects, it basically it. Well, because if you remember from Alien 3, the dog that gets infected, that's a dog alien that's going around,
yeah.
and so
Well,
it inherits the genetic code
yeah, and think
of its
about what would
host,
happen if it came up with if it grafted to something that's actually like hardcore dangerous. Like,
right? Well, and that's why it came back to like so the alien, the big protogenitor guy that's sitting in the chair with
yeah,
the big
the
hole in his
alien
chest.
face man, yeah,
Yeah, that guy, the space pilot, the alien
yeah,
pilot or whatever. Like the only thing like I was thinking, and this is just speculation because I have no idea if it's accurate or not, but the like that had to be a queen that popped out of his chest. Otherwise, where would the eggs come from? And maybe the alien queen inherited some knowledge of the ship to put down that laser grid.
Nah, I think it was
Nah,
being transported.
you think it was being transported?
Yeah, I
I
think
never saw any of the Prometheus movies. I never
the
cared.
Prometheus was fucking terrible. I hated that movie so much. And it was so stupid. I mean, I didn't even know what direction they were going. I'm like, is this a prequel? Is this a sequel? Is this not even connected to the actual universe? Oh, right there at the end, it's loosely connected to the rest of it. Okay, that should be enough. No.
Right,
Fuck you
well, right
guys.
now they have like what they got two of those Prometheus movies and then that
Yeah.
Alien Covenant or whatever.
See,
But
Alien stopped for me after probably the third one.
yeah, I
Like
agree. Well,
Alien
because
3.
Resurrections was pretty dumb, dude.
Dude,
Although that big white nasty alien monster thing was pretty.
that was creepy as fuck. I like
Yeah,
when it got sucked out the back of the like the little hole rupture. It's like, and it's like that was one of the grossest fucking scenes I had ever seen in a movie up to that point. I'm
right.
all like, God.
It's pretty fucking disturbing, honestly. And yeah, and like, dude, I don't know, dude. I feel like I'd just be. Everybody stays in this one spot, and we have flamethrowers pointed at every exit and entryway. Period. Like,
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad of a tactic. I mean, until you got overwhelmed in numbers and such.
well, if you're only fighting the one alien,
If you're only fighting the one, yeah,
and
but
the dude that's getting killed gets cooked. Sorry, this is how it works.
Well, yeah, that's how I would do it, as we've said. Like,
But
let's be
yeah, I don't know.
real.
Maybe I'm just a
Especially the
cold
thing that always
bastard.
got me, okay, the thing that always got me about these old school, like, I could understand if it doesn't apply in today's world, but back then, a spaceship environment was thought of as a pure oxygen environment. And these
Right.
motherfuckers were like chain smoking Marlboros and I'm like, how are you not blowing up? How does that not mess with your damn instruments? Like, I understand you guys are supposed to be way in the future, but I feel
Yeah,
like you'd still be on fire. If you're way in the future, nobody probably smokes anymore.
at the very least, it'd be messing with your oxygen sensors. You know what I mean? Like,
Right? They'd be all like, oh, there's nicotine. There's a layer of nicotine covering
dude,
the
and
life
can you
science
imagine
detector.
having your entire mission controlled by a damn AI?
Mother. Oh my gosh, dude.
No, dude, absolutely not.
Uh,
Like, no.
I thought that was ridiculous that they called her mother. Just
Right?
saying.
Well, and I thought like I love the scenes where they're like they show the computer screens and it's literally just binary code like and they're reading
Yeah.
it like it's actually saying that stuff. It doesn't you don't see that information anywhere on the screen
Right?
like
They can process binary at lightning speed
right. It's just a
visually.
bunch
They're
of
just
ones and zeros across the screen and Ripley's like I know exactly what's happening here.
she's all like, "Oh shit, let's do this." And like, come on. I mean, how is Ripley the third in command, the only one that's actually using common sense and survival like instinct? Like, how is that the only fucking person on the entire ship? There's 7 of them. So, you'd think at least one of them would be swayed by someone going, that's a stupid idea,
Right. Well, what they
but
should have
no.
done was they should have listened to Lambert at the beginning of the movie when she was like, "We need to just blow this thing and get out of here."
Yeah.
That right there should have been like, "Yep, let's do it."
Yeah, they had plenty of opportunities to avoid the catastrophe, but then we wouldn't have had the greatest sci-fi horror movie that ever came
Right.
out.
Well, I mean, and there's also a reason for horror movie cliches, you know?
Yep. Yep.
Like,
See, one of the things that I enjoyed with the cinematography in this movie was they made it dark enough to where you didn't see a lot of detail in the background. So it left a lot up to the imagination on where the fucking thing was going to come from.
right, like that one scene with the captain in the vent right before he gets killed. You could swear when he's looking at the thing and like messing with the stuff that it was going to come from above him, just
Yep.
behind him, but it came
Yep.
from like directly in front of him.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then like I liked how they worked in the blending in at the end of the movie where Ripley finally has to go up against, her solo fight against this thing, and it's like wow, it's curled up inside of like the control console or some shit on the shuttle, and it starts coming out after her and shit. And I'm all like, dude, I didn't even see that shit there. And I'm like, now every movie that I've seen since this one, I'm like, aliens hiding in that shadow right there. I bet you anything.
Yeah,
Boom,
right.
there it is. Called it.
Dude, I
Thank you,
noticed
alien.
something throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how any of their equipment worked because there was an insane amount of just fluids coming out of every piece of machinery everywhere in the ship. Like when the dude's trying to get the cat out of that little cat or whatever.
Right.
The,
It's like they ruptured all of
dude,
the hydro
the
lines.
cat just freaks out and suddenly all of the tubes are just spraying liquid everywhere. It's like, dude, it's no, you need like 50 repair guys on this ship, dude.
Right. They got the one guy that's all like, give me 20 minutes. I'll fix it. It's all good. Oh, he did.
Yeah, right. Like, dude, you need like 20 repair guys on this ship because literally everything is about to break. Everything.
Well, let's be real. You're running a 7-man skeleton crew on a tug, hauling a refinery, hauling like 200 million tons.
Yeah, it was 220 million tons of iron, of just mineral.
I feel like you need more than 7 people, even on a skeleton crew, to do that.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like,
probably
but then again, that
30.
speaks to the corporateness of the control that's going on, because they're like, what's the minimum amount of people we need to do a job like this? Okay, this. And then they work in like, you're required to go and investigate any signs of intelligent signals that you come across, period. That's in your contract. If you don't do that, you don't get paid. They're like, if you don't eat breakfast, you don't get paid. If you eat too much breakfast, you don't get paid.
Right, dude. I bet you there's some ridiculous clause because I wouldn't put it past the Watani Corporation to do something like
right? Yeah.
that.
And it's like, man, I'm sorry, but if I, even in the future, if times were like desperate, if every single part of the contract ended and you don't get paid, I'd be like, I'm gonna go rob people on the street corner. Bye.
Why would I work for you? Like literally, like it'd just be like, hey, you were 5 minutes late. You're not getting paid. Like,
yeah, and then like when they're like, I cannot get over the two guys that are like, can we talk about our shares, please? Could we just get paid? Like, dude's sitting there with a flamethrower, and he's like, I need my money. That's what I felt like he was going to be like. Like his death scream was going to be like, my bonus,
right, dude.
Like, and then the two guys that are working near all of like what would have to be combustible materials are like down there just like smoking next to all the equipment and shit.
Oh,
and
right,
like,
dude. Yeah. The two guys that are in charge of all of the flammable materials are like, I'm going to smoke right up next to this thing.
Yeah, it was like, it was a nice warning for like, hey guys, hey Elon, don't let people smoke when they're on your ships while they're slaving your ore from Mars or wherever you're getting it from. Don't let them smoke.
Right, dude. That's
introducing the Tesla vape system.
I'm gonna just open up this propane tank right here, and then I'm gonna light up a cigarette right next to it. Like,
why did my face burn off?
Right. Like, and that I still say I would have let that cat to die.
Well, yeah. Well, see, okay, this movie also had like the greatest ability to introduce foreboding, like that you could ever get. Like even during the beginning, boring portions of it, where it's like,
it is very foreboding.
You're kind of like, are they gonna die early?
Like
something.
You do know the movie tells you right off the bat that this is gonna get intense. Like,
yeah,
it's gonna start off slow, and then everybody's gonna die.
Yeah, and like everyone in the movie played their role perfectly too.
They did too.
Like I didn't doubt for a second that they were the characters. You know, like Sigourney Weaver was the perfect casting choice. Lack of boobage aside, she was fantastic. But you know, I'm okay with her lack of boobs because, I've said before,
she's pretty hot in Ghostbusters, man.
It all depends on the paint that you put on the models, there, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, she's. Then again, I'm not really into 6'4" Amazonian women. It made me wonder, like, if everyone in the movie Alien was like wearing platforms, or
because they were all pretty much the same height, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, Sigourney Weaver's
they
like
made her
gigantic.
duck down the entire movie. They're like, slouch your back the entire movie,
right?
They're make you like 6 inches shorter.
It was crazy. And then, like, I need to watch the second one again because there's a lot that I've forgotten in Aliens. Yeah. Like I was that way with the first one when I rewatched it recently. I was all like, damn, I forgot all about all this crazy shit. Like I forgot the fact that Android Bilbo was actually Bilbo. Like, of course, back then Ian Holm was, Ian Holm. He wasn't any one character in my brain.
Right. Yeah. Just like that one dude, Kyoto or whatever, Kodo, that played Canada in Live and Let Die.
Yeah. And like, I don't remember any of the other cast from anything else. Like, honestly.
I do. I recognize the captain from somewhere. I can't remember where I seen him from.
The captain.
I recognize him. And I mean, who doesn't know John Hurt,
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as big times, like killing it, like, well, John Hurt's still doing things, I guess.
Well, Dallas, the ship captain, Tom Skerritt.
Yeah. Tom Skerritt.
He's been in a lot. I can't tell.
Oh, see, I recognize him looking at the old picture of him. Yeah. Looking at the picture of him being old, I recognize him.
Right.
Because once again, I was
so used to people being in.
This was 8 years before I was born that this movie came out, and then these guys were killing it, and I spent a lot of time outside, so
that is very true.
I'm just now catching up on all the awesomeness that's going on. So, what are you laughing at?
I am thinking about when I keep forgetting these guys' names. When Parker starts beating Ash with that giant, what was that, like a wrench or something?
Oh yeah, dude. When he starts like,
knocks off his head. It's like, oh shit.
yeah, dude. I
Like,
loved the following scene where she took his head, like his body's laying like right here, and his head's like right here, and she's just like,
right,
like
and
starts to follow.
I was trying to watch at what point
It flipped over to being Ian Holm.
Yeah,
instead
and like
of the mannequin
you
head.
can't tell.
You really can't, but
until she shuts it, until she hits him to shut him off. That's when
Yeah.
you can tell it's fake. But
Yeah,
before
but-
that, you cannot tell it's fake.
I could, but I was looking for it. I was all like, let's look for the obvious signs of silicone and rubber. Yeah, there it is.
Like,
but,
I'm just saying, like when they're putting the head down on the table, they did a really good job of making it look real. But when she hits it and it shuts off, that's when you know, like you can tell.
Well, yeah, there's
that's
always a
real fake.
disengaging moment when those things happen. But like,
I like the detail in like what his head is sitting there on the table, but like his body in the back's got all like the wires and like the glass balls coming out of it and stuff.
Right?
Like...
I'm all like, what in the hell would those little knobby things be used for?
Right, it's exactly like
Android?
How does this thing operate?
like
how does this
maybe they're
function?
magnetic synapses that connect the different parts, so they can interchange them every once in a while and be like, Bilbo, you're kind of old. I'm going to swap you out with Gary Coleman. Someone, whatever model they chose that day. But
well, and like you can get a fishy vibe from Ash like pretty early on in the movie.
Well, yeah, but you don't realize that he's a fucking android until it's like plainly being shown to you, because they did such a good job of just making him seem like he was a creeper.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I know they explain it in the second one about why Ash malfunctioned so easily.
Yeah, that's why I need to watch the second one.
Right? Yeah, because I can't remember the explanation they gave.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it was like one of the first models or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like, see, I'm going through all these old movies again so I can remember them, because I freaking love these movies.
Right?
I do. I remember loving them. And the first one held up to my memory, my movie nostalgia, if you will. Like, the first one held up great. Like, the rewatch value on this old movie is 10 times that of anything that they've got going on.
I find myself rewatching these old movies and I just notice all the things that it's like, I don't know if that should have been there. I don't know if...
Well, that comes with your age and your experience, and also the focus that you now have in entertainment, because back then we didn't pay attention to all of the tiny little details that didn't fit, common sense as we actually know it. Because a lot of people back then didn't really have great concepts of what technology would be like in the future. And now we're all like, well, shit, we were completely wrong. But
dude, I mean, we're talking like back then, they'd be like, by the year 2000, the world is destroyed.
Right. The year is 2010. The world has been covered in ice for over a decade.
And Back to the Future 3, they went to 2020.
I know.
The shit year that was.
Yeah. See, I love the old movies that predict such short time periods in the future. Like, Demolition Man, how they're all like, oh yeah, this is like 1996. It's like 3 years after the movie was made or some shit like that. And they're all like, this is where we see society going real quick. Or like, I like 1984 is a great book, right? That came out in like 1940 something. And like, even looking back at that, it's like, okay, he thought it was going to go to shit in like 40 years. And then people were all like, okay, well, it's going to be in like the 2000s. We'll never survive to the 2000s for them to prove us wrong. And so we're fine. And then that comes and goes, the Mayan calendar rolls over and they're like, shit, I forgot to update my subscription to Doomsday Weekly. And, so now they're all like, oh yeah, in the distant future.
Right.
Ha. Suck it.
Distant future.
Yeah, and then it turns out to be like 5 years. And it's like, you guys lied to us again.
Dude, one of the, like, when Lambert and Parker are down in the when they decide they're actually going to like get the fuel cells and like get the hell out of there, where those two get killed, they're like, it's no wonder the alien found them, dude. They're knocking those barrels around, being all super loud and like yelling at each other.
Dude, that's what they did the whole time. Like, as soon as the crisis started, they started screaming like the whole time. And it's like, okay, in space, no one can hear you scream. So stop fucking screaming. Nobody cares. Like, everybody in horror movies, that was my number one complaint. Instead of doing anything useful, what are they going to do? They're going to freak out.
Especially Lambert, dude. Oh my
God. Turned out to be the one most accurate prediction in any movie ever, is that when something goes wrong, people are going to freak the fuck out instead of doing something.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, like, I'm going to stand here and scream while this guy chops me with a machete. While this guy, while this alien just uses its second mouth to just punch out the front of my face. I'm just going to scream. Continue gurgling afterwards.
Dude, I did like the like when Lambert's, because the alien gets the tail underneath her and like through the back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the part where Sigourney Weaver, like, I think they did a really good job where she's like trying to run over to him, and she just, in all the comms, all she hears is Lambert like, it's like, dude, they did a really good job with that. Like,
yeah, dude, that was they didn't only rely on visual flashiness and
the audio, audio is a big part of horror, dude.
Yeah, they knew how to hit the visceral buttons to actually make you feel the suspense and the tension in it. And of course, I'm pretty sure that was a Hans Zimmer
score. I think it was actually.
Alien 1979 composer.
Yeah, I got it up on IMDb right now.
Okay. Share the screen, fucker.
Share the screen.
Okay. And you share. Tab. That thing. I can't tell you're new at this at all, Jeremy.
No.
I mean,
no, not at all.
My bad. Said your name again.
It's right there in my thing, dude.
Okay, so who did the music by? I bet you it was Hans.
Probably. So I'm experiencing some lag.
Some technical difficulty.
Yeah. All right, music. Jerry Goldsmith.
Oh yeah, he was the other big
work
deal.
on.
Click on him and find out.
I don't know what else he worked on. That's what I'm doing. Apparently, Google wants me to buy.
Yeah, it does.
Large pails.
Large gallons of water. You really are suffering from some lag, aren't you?
Yeah, dude. Well, I know we hit our data cap this month. So.
I got you.
So, Looney Tunes.
Apparently. Nope. Known for Star Trek.
LA Confidential. The Boys from Brazil. Congo. He did the music for Congo.
That's awesome. I loved Congo.
And
dude.
Deadpool 2, actually.
Really? Sweet.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I never saw that last Rambo movie.
I never watched that one either, honestly. Yeah. I was over Rambo in
I think Rambo 3 was a good place to leave it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good stopping point for me anyway. Why won't you?
Special effects. I want to see who did these special effects, man. I don't know any of these
people.
Who did
I'm not surprised.
Oh, I wonder if it.
Well,
I was just hoping it said who'd worked on the Ash. Probably the modelers.
I have no idea. He did the music for the Rambo video game.
Wait, the one on Sega that we used to play all the time?
Nah, it came out in 2014.
Okay. I was like, what?
He does a lot of kids movie music. Despicable
Does
Me,
he?
Curious
Oh.
George, Pirates Who Don't Do Anything. It's a VeggieTales thing. One Land Before Time 13. Oh,
He
he
made
composed
13 of
the.
those?
Yeah, apparently he's the composer for the Universal whatever theme song. Like he's the guy that did that, apparently.
The Universal. Like with the Universal things coming across the globe.
Mm-hmm. Apparently he was the composer for that, but he was uncredited in his work.
Yeah.
So
I was going through that list, and it actually said, like on that special effects thing, it was saying that a lot of people were uncredited, like at least 4 or 5 of them.
well, yeah. Well, back then you had the person in charge of the special effects who would get credited for the special effects, and you'd have his team who, if
Right.
they were in an academic paper, would be listed as et al. And others. You know, these days people are so hungry for credit and attention that,
I believe
like,
they call it clout.
I would just be surprised if there aren't 80% of entertainers these days don't push and scream and cry for to be put in the credits. That's why it takes 15 fucking hours to get through a credits these days.
Dude,
You know, like the Avengers, like any of the Avengers movies, the credits on those were murder. I'm like, I can't believe I have to sit through this. You know, first time watching them in the theaters and stuff. I'm like, I can't believe I have to sit through
no,
like
dude.
13, 14 minutes of credits just to see a 2-second thing. So that's when I started watching spoilers and stuff to see if it was worth watching.
Right?
Some of those
Dude.
were not.
And like, so the longest credit scene I've ever seen in any of my entertainment ever is the credits for Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. Because not only did they include the credits for Scholar of the First Sin, but they also included the entire credits list from the original release of Dark Souls 2. So you had 2 full games worth of credits to go through in the end credit scene.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's unskippable.
You know how I feel about that.
Yep. It's literally like you beat the game and you walk away for, like, I think I timed it at 23 minutes or something like that.
Jeez, for credits?
Yeah.
Bro. 23 minutes is like...
And unskippable, dude. You could put it as long as a credit scene as you want. Just let me skip the damn thing.
Yeah, it's like, it's great that you want people to get recognition, but when you do that, like, even the people who care are only going to read it once.
If that.
I mean, they should at least let you skip it on New Game Plus.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Well, I think we've talked Alien to death. Let's go on a tangent about something else.
Like what?
I don't know. Let's talk about Elden Ring. What have you heard? Any updates on Elden Ring?
I haven't been paying attention.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to go in a little blind. I've been
Well, that
considering.
makes sense.
I've been considering streaming it. The only stuff
Totally
I know is the stuff I've already, me and you have talked about. Like,
yeah, well, dude, you should totally stream it when it comes out, dude. I mean,
yeah,
it'll be a brand new game. Yeah, some people will get early access probably, but I mean, you'll be able to stream that shit. You'll have
well, the only way I'll be able
a
to
good
stream
time
it to
playing
YouTube
it.
is if I'm playing on my PlayStation. Because
Right.
Xbox won't let you stream to YouTube unless I've got like a whole bunch of fancy shit set up.
I heard about that.
Yeah, like you got to have like a streaming capture card. It's like an external thing that's got to be going from your computer to the Xbox. Like,
that sounds like Microsoft price gouging and looking for some heavy money.
yeah, and like seriously, the piece of it, like that little streaming card or whatever, is like $100 or $200.
That is fucking criminal, dude.
I would honestly, if I was going to spend that kind of money, I'd rather just spend an extra $150 and go upgrade my Xbox. Yeah.
Or, and this is just a thought, you could not upgrade your Xbox and you could work on saving up the money towards a computer because you can play all the Xbox games on the computer.
Yeah.
And just you'd be able to use it. controllers
technically
you
I
currently
could stream
have.
it to YouTube. I just don't know how well it would work because I could, do the Xbox remote play or whatever and play it from
Yeah,
my laptop and stream it from my laptop. But
but there's the issue. It's the laptop.
and it's the lag. I don't know how
Hmm.
much, I don't know what the video quality would be. I don't know what
It would
the,
be pretty bad. It'd be pretty bad.
yeah, yeah.
I've
That's what
seen
I imagine is it can only be nasty.
for
you
the
know?
like for the 2-3 days that I was on Twitch, I went around to new channels that had their shit, just starting up just to look around and stuff, and it was like, wow, this person's missing half their pixels.
Yeah, and that's like I don't know. I can't remember the exact term for that. Maybe it's refresh rate or something. But like that's happened to me even when I was doing just meme videos for Dark Souls a couple years ago.
Yeah. Yep. It happened to me a couple times too when I first tried doing that kind of stuff. But
yeah, or I'd go back and rewatch the playthrough, and it'd just be like the first 20 minutes of the playthrough is just gnarly green and red and white pixels all over the screen.
Yeah.
Like, nasty shit. So that's why I figured I'd just stream it from my PlayStation.
Yeah.
The only reason, okay, that me and you have been Xbox owners for a long time. Long time. Playing games on the PlayStation, so I now know the difference between the two, and the PlayStation will run any game. I don't care what game it is; it will run it 10 times better than the Xbox will.
Yeah.
But the Xbox has more more features. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it shows you the difference in the country of origin, honestly, because people from the Japanese company, expect from a Japanese company high quality that runs no matter what.
Right.
In an American company like Microsoft, especially with Microsoft themselves, people
the
expect
biggest thing
features.
that I like my PlayStation over my Xbox is it has streaming integrated into the console out of the box. With the Xbox, you have to set up a whole bunch of extra shit or have a Twitch account. I'm really not interested in Twitch. Whatever.
I mean, pretty much everybody expects it to be built in these days. And the one company that's not going to build it in is going to be Microsoft.
Well, I mean, leave it to the two big tech companies to look at Apple. They're like, we're going to take away your earbud and the cord and then sell them back to you at 3 times the price.
Yeah.
Oh, those cords you missed so much? Well, now they're attachable.
Yeah, they're going to start selling iPhones like IKEA furniture, where they're going to be all like, oh, you can buy the shell for $40, and then you can buy the guts for another $170, and then you can buy this for $2,000, and the battery dock is another. You're like, oh, did I get everything for
speaking
this?
of you just mentioned the batteries. I went out and bought some of those rechargeable Xbox batteries you told me to go get.
Yeah.
These things are awesome, dude.
Hell yeah.
I literally just at the end of the night, I just plug it in and walk away, and I never have to worry about it.
Well, they have some nice alternatives because a lot of people waste batteries left and right. Especially when you have kids.
Well, speaking of kids,
they eat up the batteries, dude.
Dude, my youngest, suddenly all my controllers stopped working. The sticks were going nuts and all this stuff.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Come to find out, he's playing Fortnite, and spiking my controllers.
Wow.
I had to buy. We went through 2 controllers in a day, 2 days.
See, that's why I have a dedicated controller. But with my son, it's different because he jumps around while he's playing video games, right?
Oh, yeah.
The shock from him impacting the floor while he's jumping causes the innards of the controllers to break off.
To come loose and break off.
Yeah, because he's jumping rigid body, so all the shock is going into the controller while he's doing his finger thing.
He does go pretty nuts when he's playing a game, dude.
He does. He's freaking energetic when it comes to that.
Dude, Emmett playing online with his friends, dude. He's in there hooting and hollering and screaming and yelling, and I'm like, dude, at least 6 times while he's playing games with his friends, I got to go in there and be like, shut up. Stop yelling.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. It's like, no, It's not okay. like,
like you're hurting my ears from the other room. Quit
yeah,
it.
like I can hear you in the living room. Stop it.
Yeah. Especially when they're young and they have that high pitched voice that just like
yeah, dude.
stabs you in the
Because
brain.
he's only 8, so it's like
Yep.
pierces your eardrums.
Yeah. It's really funny when their voices start cracking. I'll say that much. This has been fun. I've had a good time.
I agree. I think it's about time to end it. We're going to call it. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a good day. We talked about Alien and some other shit, you know?
Yeah, you know.
Peace out, everybody. I gotta hold on.
Yep.
I'm the youngest boomer you'll ever meet in your life.
That's not true at all.
All right.